Welcome to the Project 820 podcast. Podcast disclaimer. The following podcast is just a couple guys riffing back and forth about nerdy stuff, current events, hot button topics, and everything in between. Everything is opinion based, and sometimes facts will be incorrect and misinformed. No one knows everything, and we aren't always fact checking while we record. Knowing this, be aware when commenting that a constructive correction is always welcome, but a harassing and aggressive retort will be laughed at and dismissed immediately. That's all. Enjoy the show. This is the Project 820 podcast.
Hello there, boys and girls. Welcome to the 820 podcast. Podcast time. So today on the podcast show, we're going to be listening to farts. That was a bad fart, Victor. Sound guy.
I wasn't ready to be soundboard guy. We're not a radio station.
Interesting.
Yet.
Interesting.
You think we could do our own radio show?
Oh, yeah.
Would people listen to that shit?
As long as we talk like this. This is Stevie Krause, and I'm the Jam Mama Jamma. Now we're gonna listen to some Fall Out Boy. Are they still cool? I don't know.
No, they're pretty good.
All right.
1039 KFW9
KFW9
for all your 9 in the morning shows.
9 in the morning shows.
Yeah. We could totally. Why aren't we getting paid for this?
I don't know. We should.
Oh, because we'd have to get up at 4 a.m. to be at the studio by 5 to start the show, which runs till 9.
But I mean, if we were addicted to crack, we could definitely do that.
Or we could go to bed before 3.
Yeah, or we could just record it the day before and then play it in the morning and pretend like we're there.
That's always tough, though, because if there's anything relevant going on, and you just completely ignore it. Like, let's say, for instance, aliens invaded in the morning.
That's our what if. What the hell?
Hey,
wait.
Did you see that segue?
What the hell, what if of the day?
What the hell, what if?
What the hell, what if?
What the hell, what if?
If aliens landed in the White House's lawn, what would happen?
I'm pretty sure, and it's depressing, but I feel like it'd be a political nightmare. It'd be like conservatives against liberals, and it's like, what are you talking about? This is like aliens are here, and it'd just be like, kill them aliens, and it's like, no, they're going to protect us and save us from the world.
Wait, so it would be like, thanks a lot, Obama. Way to bring Martians in, you jerk.
Yes.
And then all the PC people would be like, technically they're not Martians, like me. I would be one of those people saying, they're not Martians, they actually came from somewhere else completely, so they find it very offensive when you call them Martians, and they'll whip you less if you don't call them Martians, because
they're obviously going to be our alien overlords.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
No. But, like, one thing I was thinking is, do you think that they would, like, give us technology? And my thought was that, like, no, they wouldn't. Because it's kind of like handing a toddler a gun. They don't get how powerful what they have is, you know? And so, and maybe they would just let us, like, do our own thing. But
again, it would be a political nightmare, because who do they give technology to? Do they, like, find someone, like, just in an office building and just, like, here is the schematics to make the transportation, like, something or other, and this guy's just like, I work in sales, and I don't know what to do. And then that leads to another thing. Why does it necessarily mean they're going to give it to Americans?
Right.
Or are they going to stop in Russia and give it to them, or China? And give it to
I mean,
Chinese people?
if I was an alien, I would give it to the underdog. So, like, Cuba all of a sudden is just going to have all the alien technology.
You assume,
woo, new superpower.
You assume the aliens give two shits about who is, like, tougher on our
planet.
planet.
Well, no. But I mean, okay, so
they're gonna come here and be like, who's the leader of your planet? Not who's the leader of this little piece of land on your planet, because I don't give a shit about that piece of land. I just, who's in charge of everything?
And I think aliens would be smart enough to be like, all right, let's avoid landing on a planet that isn't controlled by one major group. You know? Like, if we're going to do anything, we're going to pull people up and then, like, do experiments on them just to figure out who the intelligent race is.
Yeah, like, if the planet was ruled by, like, one just all-powerful group, the most they'd have to deal with is, like, some, like, rebels, like, rising up occasionally, and then you squash the rebellion, and then you're in charge some more.
Yeah.
As opposed to having, like, I mean, the Earth has, like, 4+ like mega superpowers.
Yeah, behind you, we can see Canada.
That's a big one.
United States, Brazil, China, Russia, Australia. Yep.
only 5 to 10% of Australia's landmass is like habitable.
Yeah, I know.
It's kinda
mostly
depressing.
a desert. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, if aliens liked reality TV as much as we do, I bet they give everything to the North Koreans. Just because then it's like, all right, here you go. All right, let's sit back and watch this. Yeah.
and then like all the Americans could finally band together and be like, and that's why we spend $90 trillion a year on our defense budget.
No, what people would be saying is, thanks a lot, Obama, for letting the Martians come over here and give North Korea all of our weapons. It's obvious that you were a North Korean from day one. Everyone was saying it. And he's a Muslim.
I feel like even Obama would be very pro blowing up the North Koreans if they were like, oh, we have the pew pew laser gun and have every intention of taking you out.
Yeah, I don't think depending on how advanced the alien technology was, I don't think we would really stand a chance.
To be fair, I mean, Obama just using his simple power to like pass a bill through like presidential stuff, like everyone freaks the fuck out. So it's like, it's just kind of funny. It's like, but every president's done that.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
All of them.
Well, and like the thing with.
I mean, the last time it was done, we went to fucking war.
Yeah. So there was a bipartisan bill for the whole immigrant thing.
Yeah.
And Congress for the longest time was like, we're gonna get to it, and then they never got to it. And Obama said like 2 years ago that, hey, if you don't end up getting to that, I'm going to use an executive order in order to do it. So just pass it, okay? Otherwise, I'm just going to do it. And then they were like, okay. And then they never passed it. And then they're like, you can't do that. But that's really all I know about it. I haven't really looked into that political.
Well, and then because he made sure when he passed the order through that it was very like one instance. Like it's one thing that passes right now that's like this one thing. It's like, okay, everyone who's in the country as of this date, you know, who like if you're not legal, you're legal. Come out of the shadows and you know, but it's not like anything forward.
I don't think it's that. I thought it was just like you can't get deported because you bring your child who is a legal person.
It wasn't anyone, I guess. It was like, if you had a child or like a direct blood relative or something.
There is some sort of weird.
Because it wasn't just any old buddy.
Yeah, because I don't even know if they're technically citizens yet either. I don't know. We can't really talk about it because I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know a lot. So speaking of Australia, because we talked about that for 4 seconds.
Australia.
Did you hear that Target, the Target of Australia banned, they refused to sell Grand Theft Auto 5 now?
Really?
And guess whose fault it is?
Grand Theft Auto 5?
Nope, feminists.
Oh.
Yeah, because why not?
Well, why?
I was talking to my brother about this. Apparently they went through and this group that, I think they got a thing on like change.org was one of those things. Like,
sure.
And they had like 40,000 signatures to like make like for people to like stop like selling Grand Theft Auto 5 just altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Target in Australia was the only people that took it seriously because I mean you don't actually have to do anything that change.org says.
Right.
But the whole premise behind it was the fact that the whole game is structured around the abuse of women. And
there's quite a bit of that.
There's a lot of man abuse too, though. I'm pretty sure the majority of the game you're trying to kill many men, and a few women too.
Yeah.
I mean, I played it a little bit. I didn't get into it that much, but I do remember the one mission I did go on. I was driving around with my crack whore friend, who her boyfriend runs a tow truck company, which is just him because he has a tow truck. And he's busy. He's off in jail or something. Mm-hmm. So I'm with her towing some cars so they can get some extra scratch so she can go get more crack probably. I don't know. But so it's like, well, okay, yes, that does not exactly put anyone in a very positive light.
I mean, why is it?
I feel like it's more negative towards people who are crack whores, not necessarily women in general.
I think it's just not.
It's a hyper-violent game, and it's just completely absurd, and that's the point.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if I would just throw out the blame to like just feminists in general.
It's not okay. It's the group of people that pushed it. They are taking that's who they are advertising themselves as.
Okay.
I will say that the ones who pushed it through, that's what they claim to be, and then, it was just the fact that everything was worded very well. This like degrades women in this way and this degrades women in that way. And it's just funny going through all the points and being like, and it degrades men the same way and this way, and it degrades everybody, and then you murder everybody, and you kick cats, and you stab dogs, and it's an awful game in general.
However, there is a lot of sexism in games.
There's a lot of sexism in everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean that's a
not
problem.
wrong.
And what's wrong with trying to address those problems and
taking the stance they did was too absurd. I think that they're not making any points because of how far they took it. I think.
I don't know. Why not? I mean,
because no one's taking it seriously.
Yeah, but the only thing that happened because of this is the target in Australia.
It's probably the single target in Australia.
Sure.
Like,
you know, so there were a couple places that were like, yeah, you know, we're gonna get behind this because we agree. So what exactly is wrong with them voicing their opinion and changing something?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, well, because you're coming at it like there's something wrong.
Oh, no, I mean, they can...
What's wrong with it, Victor?
They can do that. I don't give two shits if they do that. I feel like they should have gone about it a different way if they wanted to do more.
Okay,
I feel like they could have done more.
What do you think they should have done?
They should have gone at the thing in a much more broader sense and just been like, this game is hyper-violent, it's way too far over the edge, and pull the sexism out of it. Like...
Yeah,
because if that turns off,
the sexism is kind of part of the whole Gamergate issue.
Yeah,
and so they're bringing up like, sure, yes, the game as a whole is definitely like violent and but I mean at the same time, like what they're trying to achieve is to let people know that there is a problem with video games today, and their stance towards women. And on top of that, I mean, that pulls back towards, like, the overall, like, societal... You know, our society is extremely sexist, which I think we can agree on. You know, but, I mean, just they're trying to attack a very certain subsection of a subsection, and... You know, because most of them were probably women, and most of them probably felt very uncomfortable seeing people play these video games and thinking that it was funny. That's what they decided to go after, and I'm okay with that. Like, the game itself, I don't know. I think people should buy it if they want to, but at the same time, it's kind of, it's demanded by our society right now, and it fills a little niche for people. But we need to change by bringing up things like saying, this is bad because of this and this and this, you know, is bringing, like, it's making people think possibly about sexism in the world now, and, like, maybe the demand for video games will change and people will grow bored with games like that.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. And you know, and I'm not saying that is what's going to happen. I'm saying that is what their goal is.
Yeah, I just think that they could have taken maybe a different direction and probably accomplished more, I think.
Yeah.
With the kind of push, because this was a pretty big push.
But it's kind of like the same thing.
And it didn't get nearly as received as I think they wanted it to be.
Right. But it's kind of like the same thing with, like, in Ferguson, how that hashtag Black Lives Matter came out.
Yeah.
And then people were like, no, all lives matter.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you're trying to deflect from the actual issue by involving everybody, but everybody doesn't need to be involved because the problem right now is black people, you know. That's where it started. That's where we need to, you know, like, if because what all lives matter does is it's like, well, white people matter too. And it's just like, okay, yes, they do.
You're missing the big problem.
But
there.
That's not the biggest problem.
The biggest problem in that specific situation is the fact that someone decided, hey, I'm going to start a hashtag that's going to get my Twitter just on fire. And that's like, yay, I'm taking advantage of a really shitty situation.
Yeah.
Like,
but did you know
that's the problem?
Black Lives Matter actually came from Facebook to begin with?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they it was between a couple people putting in Black Lives Matter.
Just hashtag it and then
and then it from Facebook
it
went into Twitter and then it blew up. Yeah.
Well, there was, God, no, I think I talked about this already, so I'm not talking about it again. Never mind.
What?
It was that thing with that one guy who did the Thinspiration thing, and then
oh yeah,
people freaked out on him for no reason. God, no, what was I going to talk about there? Oh, and then, okay, we haven't talked about, because it's been a week since we podcasted.
A week.
Since, because we did touch on the Ferguson stuff last week, so.
Oh, can we not?
Just for a little bit.
Can we not?
There's one thing we should
Can
address.
we please not?
We should.
I'm so, like,
It's the one thing we have to talk about.
Because I'm just, like, for me, it's just, like, I hear it so much, and it's just, like, I care, but I just... Can't things just change already?
Can't things be better?
Please.
Well,
can cops just stop being assholes, please?
Okay, because the only thing I wanted to talk about was I mean, it's funny because, again, I brought this up to my brother, and I was like, did you hear about the thing that happened now? And he's like, which one? And he named off, like, 4 things. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, wow, that's worse than I thought.
Yeah.
But the one I was talking about was the guy who got choked out.
Oh, the I Can't Breathe?
Yeah.
Which is the new hashtag on Twitter.
Oh, is that really?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah,
Fuck you, Twitter.
Well,
Follow me on Twitter at TechWipley89.
The only thing that's nice about hashtags is that you're giving something a search term so that you can find what you want about it.
I heard someone say that the best thing that's come out of this whole situation is we're not going to waste a shitload of money on cameras on cops' uniforms because we've just proved it doesn't fucking matter.
Isn't that what Obama just decided to do?
Yeah, but this is the case that's going to make everyone who doesn't want to get them, they'll just use this. And they'll say, well, it doesn't matter because, look, we have an instance, a very recent instance from last week, of someone getting killed by a cop, and it's all on film and no indictment or anything criminal at all.
Which is crap.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
because he was just, like, selling cigarettes, right?
I don't even fucking know.
I think, yeah, he was just, like, it was illegal what he was doing. He was selling cigarettes. You can't sell cigarettes.
The thing is, there's, because I don't even think did he get violent at all?
I don't know. I think he might have, like, he didn't really, I don't think he
I think he resisted a little once he was grabbed.
Yeah.
But that makes sense if you're choking.
Right. And then, and then they picked him up and slammed him on the ground. And then I think they laid on top of him, and he was an overweight man. Yeah. And so, like, you know, all of his body weight and then another person's body weight on top of him, he couldn't breathe. And then he was in a chokehold, too. Yeah. And so he ended up, he died. And they asked the woman, because the officer said that he was sorry. You know, he's like, I feel bad about it, and I really regret, and I really hope that his family can forgive me. Yeah, and right. They asked his wife, they're like, you know, what do you think of that? And she's like, fucking, I don't care what the hell he has to say. I don't forgive him. I have to feed my kids now on a single salary. I have, I'm grieving for the loss of my husband, and she like listed off how her life is just, without him. It's gonna be really hard for her. Yeah. And it's just like, and he's not even going to see any, jail time for, doing what
the only person that's getting any kind of criminal, like...
Is the guy who took the video.
Fucking recorded it.
Yeah, which...
Why?
Why is it illegal to record cops?
It's fucking nuts.
It should never...
It must be something specific to that area, because I know in most areas it's not.
Yeah, what are they even going after him for?
I don't know, like...
For being a citizen?
I mean, technically,
How dare you citizenize in this area?
I feel like it's one of those things where, like, if you, like, spread, like, something about police, like, in a negative tone or something, like, maybe you get, like...
Well, fucking fuck cops. Look at what they're doing. Not all, but, like, obviously not all, because not all cops are bad, but, I mean, that can go unsaid. Because it's obvious that not all cops are bad cops.
It just sucks that, and I don't really mean this when I say this the way I am, but like in the most ideal situation where it comes to getting the perfect amount of evidence, and like this is actually on tape, and you can hear it, and you can see it, and you're watching this happening, and it's the same damn problem, and nothing's coming from it. Yeah. And it's just like, okay, so we literally had the perfect storm of evidence lined up, and it doesn't matter.
Well, and then, like...
So it's like, what do you do at this point?
The cop who shot the 12-year-old, who had, like, an airsoft gun or a pellet gun or something. Yeah. And within 2 seconds of the cop getting there, he shot the kid. 2 seconds. So, supposedly, they were yelling at him from the squad car to put the gun down. And then the 12-year-old, he's 12, probably, they said that he was starting to reach for it. And, he was probably reaching for it because, he was going to be like, it's fake, But as soon as they got out of the squad car, his passenger jumped out and shot him. Like and he said that he yelled at him 3 times. But if you can tell somebody 3 times in 2 seconds to put a gun down, then you're pretty talented.
That's pretty impressive. And you think he heard all of those too, because I'm pretty sure he does.
Yeah, and he's 12, you know.
Well, yeah, and you're dealing with a child.
The person who called in too said, "There's somebody here with a gun. It's probably fake. It looks fake, but it's creeping me the hell out." Which means that he was playing around with a gun like an idiot.
I'm shaking my head right now.
Yeah, okay, so he was playing around with a gun like an idiot, you know, just being a fucking 12-year-old and, like, pointing it at trees and being like, meh, you know, because he's 12, and that's what 12-year-olds do.
I did that. We had cap guns.
Yeah.
It's not weird.
No.
I don't understand.
It's good, you know, and it was because he was black, because, you know... well, I mean, even if you... It doesn't matter who you saw. If you saw somebody in the park with a gun, you'd call the cops. You know, you would. Even if it was probably a child, you'd still call the cops, mostly for the child's protection. Like, you shouldn't have that, kid.
Yeah. Although from the 911 call, we know that the person who called
said it's
probably
fake.
not even real, but it's like creeping me out kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
Like,
and so it was probably somebody, like, looked over and this kid's playing with a gun, and after 10 minutes they were like, this is weird, let's call the cops just to make sure, you know? And then, the cops showed up and shot him. It's just like,
and then
good job.
Did he die?
Yeah, he died.
Damn.
Yeah, it's just fucking stupid.
That's
it's
ridiculous.
like, and then on top of that, why shoot to kill? Like, what the fuck?
Well, because 12-year-olds have those little stubby, like, 1-foot legs, so, like, you can't get those, like, everything's a kill shot.
And I mean, honestly, what would be nice is if police officers had 2 guns. One that had to always be filled with rubber bullets, which was to be used almost all the time, so that you can shoot somebody and it has a chance to kill them, but if you're doing your job right, it's just going to hurt like fucking hell.
Yeah.
Or you have your, oh shit, they're shooting at me gun, where you can then shoot back at them with real bullets.
Yeah.
Cause like,
I don't know why they don't do anything like that. Just maybe like
sense.
Costs, maybe? I don't know.
Fuck, you know what costs a lot of money? The police lawsuits that happen.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, that costs taxpayers a lot of money, and it happens all the time.
They could literally get the cops, like, modified government-sanctioned airsoft guns, and, like, it'd work fine.
Yep. Just freaking have them carry around paintball guns everywhere they go. Because, I mean, I don't know if you've ever, even a paintball gun, I don't know if you've ever been shot by a paintball gun, listeners, like 14 times up and down your leg from close range, but it hurts and it makes you drop to the ground.
Who did that to you again? I think I remember this.
My cousin-in-law.
And they were... I heard that story before.
They were old.
Oh, so they were like
too.
just hard as a rock.
Yeah, they didn't break when they hit you, so it hurt extra bad. I had like 10 bruises up and down my leg.
I remember they showed this in one of the Jackass movies. Was Johnny Knoxville gets shot right in the abdomen with a it was like a riot control thing. It was they shot it out of a 12 gauge shotgun, but it was like just a little beanbag thing full of like little pellets in there and stuff. So it's not meant to penetrate or anything. But he got shot with it and like a little target on like the lower half of his stomach, and they showed a shot of him like a couple days later. Like he went down.
It was just a giant black.
His whole stomach was black and red and blue, and it was just ridiculous. And it was just like, well, I mean, that certainly stopped someone. It's like, well, how come I don't see that getting used more often then? Like, why do all these people have to die? Like, this is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and then too, there was the guy in. There was a guy with a knife, like in Ferguson, right after Michael Brown died.
Yeah.
There was a mentally he was trying to get murdered by the cops. Okay. Because he was trying to commit suicide.
Suicide by cop.
And so he had a knife in his hand. He started walking towards the cop, and then both cops opened fired and killed the guy.
Okay.
And it didn't get much attention because it was like he was trying to commit suicide. He was, willing to go as far as he had to go in order to get what he wanted, kind of thing. But in a situation like that, okay, why wasn't a taser used?
That would have been like a perfect situation for one of those
Why wasn't one of those
like riot control guns?
A riot control gun would have been perfect in that situation, because it would have taken him, down, and then, attempting suicide. Well, assault on an officer. Attempted assault on an officer is against the law. So then you could get him help legally because he broke the law. That's why.
Yeah. I'm sure you could get some mental help too.
Yeah.
In that
sense. And that's why attempted suicide is illegal, and that's why suicide is illegal. Is because if you don't do it, like if you failed somehow,
you fuck it up,
you can then get mental health help.
Yeah.
And it's a way to force you into getting help.
Mm-hmm.
It's the because I've heard people before like laughing at the fact when they hear that suicide is illegal, because it's like why, But that is why. It's so that they can force you to get
for
help.
those few people who are just bad at it, they can get the help they need.
Yeah.
Which also isn't a perfect system, but
no, but I mean,
it's better than nothing, which is the alternative, I guess.
You're right.
So
better than throwing them in jail. Which it's surprising that they don't do that in America, because they seem to throw everybody else in jail.
That's true.
We'll probably get thrown in jail for this.
You think so?
No.
This is so illegal.
Not unless we sell a very small amount of pot on this episode.
Oh,
then we'll get thrown in prison for like 20 years.
Podcast, like the Project 0820 podcast, the P stands for fucking like prison.
Prison.
Yes.
The Prison Podcast.
Yeah, we're hardened criminals.
Today Steve tried to shiv me. It hurt.
Steve's gonna die tomorrow. I got my own toothbrush shiv I've been working on for 3 weeks. God.
His was made out of toilet paper. Luckily for me, he didn't know how to do it. It was just a roll of toilet paper.
Yeah. Steve's not very smart. Let's talk about something positive.
Puppies.
Kittens.
Puppy kittens. What if?
Can we do that?
Oh, man. That would be interesting. Would it, like, try to kill itself, though?
I don't know. Cats and dogs aren't, like, natively, like, kill each other.
Yeah, but they seem to try.
I've never had a problem with it.
I don't know. Yeah, but
I do that one of my cats is an asshole. I mean, so the dogs bark at him, but he's an asshole.
Yeah.
So that kind of has to come in. But there isn't like just this, I'm a dog, so I hate you. Yeah. It's more like, I'm old, so I don't care.
Speaking of cats, I was looking at fmylife.com.
Yes.
Which is
pleasant.
It's a very good site to go to. It's a good time waster. But I was there, and somebody was like, the doctor today asked me where I got my scratches from, and I said it's because I fell down the stairs. Truth of the matter is that my cat is a murderous asshole, and I'm too scared to kill it. I was like, I would kill that damn thing. I'd do it with a bat, and I would enjoy it.
Jesus
like
Christ.
Like if I had that many scratches on me, I'd be like, you're now a very outside cat. Have fun in the elements, you little bastard.
I saw someone posted online. It was a thing about how there's this cat that died. It was like 15 years old, and it had 2 heads.
Interesting.
It was a 2-headed cat. It sort of had 2 heads. It had like 2 mouths, 2 noses, 2 ears, and like 3 eyes, sort of.
Oh, so it was like a...
Like an eye on each side, and then like a center eye that was kind of like it didn't work, and but the hole was there, and you could see like what could have been an eye.
Sure.
If it had developed right.
Well, have you ever seen there's a guy in like Nepal or something that he's like that. He's got like 2 faces, yeah.
That's a little weird.
It is weird.
It's weird on a person.
It's disturbing.
They showed video of the cat, and it was adorable. Because the cat was still just like a regular cat and jumped around and like played and purred and like loved getting attention. You just had to remember to clean out its gunk hole, and it was great. Yeah, it had a gunk hole where its eye should have been. That was bad. But it died. Its names were Frankenstein. Get it? Get it? Frankenstein?
I get it. Ew. That's disgusting.
It's funny.
That's disgusting. Clean out its gunk hole.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I do wonder in that case, did it like have 1 brain then, and it just was like the brain just knew to have 2 mouths?
Or
and
maybe it just had like a brain and a half. You know?
Maybe.
I don't know. It'd be.
Did they feed both mouths?
Did they dissect it after it died, or did they bury it?
They probably just buried it.
That's too bad. I would have cut it open.
If it was
Well,
like,
I personally wouldn't have.
No,
But I would have, because it's disturbing. But I would have sent it to somebody to cut open, because
like,
I'm
this
sure
is
they would have
interesting.
had fun. Yes.
This is gonna be one of those oddities, the cat skeleton, like that you see.
When you go to the Benton County Fair.
Yeah.
This here cat had 2 heads, kind of. Tasted like chicken.
2 heads, kinda.
I licked out its gunk hole. Anyway.
You couldn't let that one go. You had to take it there.
How
How do we make cat conversations sad and gross?
Because that's what we do on the 0820 podcast.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's explain that. Is it 0820 podcast?
I always say I always say 0820.
0820?
That's what
or is it just like the 0 is silent, so it's the 820 podcast?
I always say 08 because the point is that it's 08, like referencing 2008 and not
Right.
just an 8.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Because that's when, well, I don't know, because some of our viewers might stop listening to us if they knew how old we were.
We are 64 years old.
Yep. 1908 is when me and Victor met.
64 is not that far back, Paul.
Fuck off, Victor. Okay. This is the weirdest podcast we've ever done.
Yeah, no, this is strange.
Now for the rest of the podcast, we're going to whisper to our viewers.
And I'm going to yell from back here.
I'm louder, even though I'm whispering. That's
Yes,
interesting.
you are.
That's very interesting. Is anyone else creeped out right now?
Yes.
We're going to have to cut this out.
No.
It's just the weirdest. Okay, so we
you know
need
what I
another
noticed?
topic to
You know what I
talk about.
noticed when
Yes.
like editing the podcast and
What's
stuff?
that? What's that?
Is it's not super hard to like find the spots where there's clipping and like just take them down a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, that's not too tough. But I noticed like if I don't sit and re-listen to the entire thing, I miss stuff that I probably should have cut out. So for the most part, if it's not something that I think about at the time and it's like we cannot leave that in, it stays in.
Is there any what have you cut out?
I mean, there's been some stuff where like we actually take a break.
Okay. Yeah.
Then like I try to remember like okay, that's where that was, and then
Mhm.
that's easy to cut out. But there hasn't really been anything we've said that was like, oh god, we shouldn't have said that. Turn that around and
Well, I think the
delete that.
entire face eating episode was probably an episode that we should have just.
I feel like we took that step and now we're there, so it's just like
should have been
we
like,
can only move forward now.
okay, so it should have been like, "Do-do-do-do-do. Welcome to the 820 podcast. Silence. All right, guys, thanks for coming. Bye.
Yeah, thanks for listening, all of you dedicated listeners. That was a fun one. Just the whole fucking thing is cut.
That would be perfect. No, man.
But yeah, I usually get too lazy. I mean, I'm glad the clipping doesn't take too long.
Is
like, to deal
your
with.
user picture a picture of John?
It's a picture of me. That would be weird.
I don't know. He's like our most devoted listener. Right now, he's sitting at
It
home
could be
and crying
tears.
because he's so happy.
Oh, of joy.
Yes,
Joyous tears.
that we released another podcast.
Can they also be manly tears?
Oh yeah,
Good.
they're made of axes.
Okay.
Because we all know John doesn't cry non-axed tears,
I mean, of course not.
and it's Axe body spray as well, which makes him cry more because it really hurts when it
That
gets in
hurts
your
your
eye.
eyes like a motherfucker. Holy hell.
Yeah, it's just an unending cycle of pain. But damn, does he smell really bad because it's just way too much.
I guess okay, this is a good time to post this here. I want to know opinions on if the video podcasts are very desired.
Yeah.
Because I've heard one of my brothers said that those are at least more appealing to him.
Okay.
Like he has an easier time sitting and watching them because he can pick up facial expressions and gestures and things like that, which you don't always pick up. So you kind of have to do all that through your voice, which
Yeah.
I think we've gotten pretty good at, but
Yeah.
you still miss a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's just that the editing time is like quadrupled
Yeah.
as opposed to just fucking throwing a freaking wave file
Yeah. I wonder if
on
we
a
could
blank screen.
if we could find a way to stream all of that into one really quick file, even though there's two different sources.
You know what I never thought of? We could actually do this and it'd be easy as shit. This might actually be the way we do this from now on. We'll see. We could stream it on Twitch, and then the Twitch streams you can export directly to YouTube.
Hey,
That's what I do with all of mine.
there we go. And then,
I'm gonna have to look into how to get the mics all set up and shit, but I don't think it's that hard.
yeah, that might not not be a bad idea.
So I can do some Googling and stuff. Because then we'll be live if people want to watch it on Twitch and interact with us a little bit on there. Huh. And then as long as I get it saved out as a decent file size, then it should look okay on YouTube. But yeah, like it automatically goes over, so you don't have to like do anything.
Nice.
So that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
And then like I have a software. We're gonna have to use my PC. That's what I have all the shit on. So I don't.
The only problem with that is with Twitch, like, would I log in then and be another?
No.
Like how would we do two inputs at once?
We probably wouldn't. We'd
We'd
probably just do
like,
a single one.
Us right next to
well,
each other.
I mean, you can. It's not that because you can have the way that's like the software works is like the stuff that I use, which is XSplit Broadcaster, for anyone who's interested in getting into streaming. They give you like basically a blank screen, and then you can just start adding things to the screen. So you can add a game that the game has to be up, but then when you go like search for game, it'll show that it's there. Just click on it, and then the screen will be up there.
Okay.
And then you can pick where it is on the screen, what if it's on top of stuff or below stuff, how big it is. So it'd be easy enough to put like a picture down, like to do the whole screen, so it's a background. Take 2 video inputs. So if we had 2 webcams or something, do 2 of those, which would be easy enough. We just make sure the sound is probably not coming from the webcams, and then we would just make sure the audio comes from the way we do the audio now. Yeah. I'd have to troubleshoot that a little because I'm not exactly sure how to do that.
Yeah.
But
and maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll look around too and see if there's any Linux ways of doing it.
You're funny. Fuck off.
Linux.
So we were trying to play WoW on Friday.
Yeah.
And damn, that took way too long.
For me to get set up?
Yes.
Okay, so here's what happened. I'm going to explain it to my listeners, and you can tell me whether or not it's my fault.
All right, John, listen up.
Here we go. My computer, my desktop, my gaming PC has one of two things wrong with it. 1, RAM. 2, CPU. One of those does not work right, and I am too lazy to figure it out.
Continue.
So, one day, I was updating my PC because I was installing the newest software onto it, and in the middle of it, my computer crashed because of one of those 2 things, either my CPU or my PC or my memory. Because it crashed, I ended up with an unbootable operating system. It would get to the login page, and then it would just freeze right there because some file was corrupt somewhere, causing it to not log in. So what I ended up doing when Victor and everybody came over is I quickly installed Ubuntu on the machine again, which is it's a really simple kind of like, hey, everything works out of the box. You don't have to configure anything. It's really good if you're just getting into Linux. Go look into Ubuntu. Anyway, so I installed that on my gaming PC. And then I installed Wine. But Wine was giving me, like, Wine wouldn't then install WoW correctly. So I troubleshot that for probably 20, 30 minutes. And then I realized that Ubuntu wasn't giving me the newest version of Wine because they don't work on I won't explain it. For security reasons and for stability reasons, they don't give you the newest software all the time. Okay. And so I didn't have the newest version of Wine, which was necessary in order to run WoW on Linux. And so then when I realized that, I updated my PPAs and then installed the newest version of Wine. And then I was able to install WoW, which I let install for 40, 50 minutes, something like that. And then I was able to play WoW. So, prior to this, my gaming PC did have World of Warcraft on it. It was running perfectly functionally. However, I didn't know the whole Wine thing because I was on a different distribution which gives you the newest stuff all the time. But because it does that, it's not always perfectly stable. But that was not the reason why it crashed in the first place. The reason why it crashed in the first place was because my computer crashed while updating, which caused files to be corrupt, and it's the machine hardware's fault, not Linux's fault.
What OS were you running before when it initially like died? Did you have Arch on there? Arch on there, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And
now,
then
my question I pose to you then
yes,
is, with the hurdles you ran into
mm-hmm.
with Ubuntu not automatically giving you the newest version of Wine,
mm-hmm.
Which did slow down things like a lot more, especially at the time, because we were all like, "Fucking play!" So that made it worse.
Would it have been better to install Arch?
Yeah, no. Would it have been faster to install
Windows
7 or something, and then WoW will just load in?
Yes,
right away.
It would have taken longer to install Windows 7.
Why?
Drivers.
You don't need that many drivers.
Because you would need to install. I know my WAN driver doesn't work.
What the fuck? Why do you need that?
Well, not wire. Just LAN. LAN driver doesn't work.
Okay.
So I need to find the CD and install that. Then I would have to install my video drivers for sure, and that thing is like, I don't know, like 190 megabytes.
I don't know if you
days.
need to.
Oh yeah, you do.
Really?
Oh yeah, to play WoW you can't. I would not be able to play WoW.
I didn't have to.
Because it gives you the generic drivers initially.
Yeah.
Well, but what are you using?
I don't remember.
Is it NVIDIA?
No, I think they're
Okay.
ATI.
Yeah. So I don't know, but like the generic driver might be able to handle that. But like,
because it handles WoW fine that way.
I wonder, like, did you put a CD in and install that?
No.
Huh.
No, I ran it off of I had just like a Windows 7 Home Basic disk.
Huh. And then did you just like find it and then hit upgrade whatever and then it did it for you kind of thing? Huh.
No, I didn't do anything with the video stuff when I did my complete like wipe and rego.
Yeah.
The only thing I needed to do really was I didn't really need to do much. I had to I let it do its own updates because it needed to do like a service pack, which didn't take very long because they've kind of clustered in a lot of stuff into just like I think 2 service packs now or something.
Okay.
So that didn't take very long, but I didn't read it. I think they have like a default like video kind of like a blanket driver set in one of the service packs that they throw out. And then I had to tell Windows to stop updating because there was an update rolling through that was causing my Explorer to crash all the time, which makes making Windows work hard if you don't have Windows Explorer working.
Yeah, but Linux is such a pain in the ass, Victor.
No, it is.
Damn. With all your Windows issues.
I can solve these problems. That's the one issue that's one issue. One.
Okay, but like irregardless of what operating system,
irregardless is not a word.
I'm aware. But regardless of what operating system
you're proving your own idiocy.
Regardless of what operating system you're using,
a lie.
There is always some sort of configuration and troubleshooting that you're going to have to do. Especially when you're building your own system. Sure.
I would agree to that as long as it's not like, oh, I install this every day because it's a piece of shit or something. Yeah. But yes.
So then here's another thing is that my computer is like bipolar because sometimes it's like, I love you and I'll do so.
If you're going to use mental
good.
Disabilities like to defend your claim here, you're grasping at straws, man.
No, but just listen. So my computer is so sometimes it'll be like, I love you and I'm gonna work perfectly for you. And then other times it's just like, no, I'm gonna crash. Every single program you open is gonna crash. It's just, you know. And if I boot up a Windows system in that when it's all pouty at me, it'll blue screen. Like immediately. Like on boot, it'll blue screen. And during blue screening, it will actually, because this is what happened to my last Windows 7 install, because I was dual booting for the longest time. But what happens to me consistently now is that it'll blue screen, and then half of the time after it blue screens, it's not bootable. So then I have to install all over again. And that would happen to me maybe once every 2 or 3 months. Okay? Because I don't really use my machine all that often.
Yeah.
I use my laptop for pretty much everything.
Now, is that just when you're running Windows that happens? Or is that just in general?
But here's the thing. So Windows would blue screen, and then sometimes it wouldn't become bootable.
Okay.
Linux, once has it not become bootable after it crashed on me.
And that was this time.
And that was because I was in the middle of updating packages, which is a pretty... So, like, as far as, like, picking up the pieces after everything is shattered to apart, Linux is a lot better at doing that.
Yes, I agree with you there.
Yeah. And so that's another reason why it was
I feel like we
important for
just
me
need to
put
get your
Linux on the
computer
machine.
like fucking like Ritalin or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's
Well, no,
the biggest problem.
I just need to, because okay, so I kind of slowly ended up buying more and more pieces to try and figure out what the hell's wrong with my computer.
Yeah.
And I ended up with a whole nother computer.
Hey, and that's your server.
And that's now my server. So my server is like an 8-core with 16 gigs of RAM, and it's really nice because I end up using it for a bunch of different stuff. But anyway, so one of these days I just have to shut my server down and then swap pieces out until I can figure out, okay,
which one's actually
it's running fine now
not working.
that I have the other CPU in there. Or it's because every time I switch things around, I've always consistently brought the RAM and the CPU over together.
Yeah.
Just because my more powerful CPU, I'm going to want to give that more RAM because it has the ability to run more applications at once, right?
So my question for you becomes,
Mm-hmm.
will you have the initiative to run these tests before you end up just fucking buying a new CPU and new RAM because they're like 6 years old at this point or something?
Well, actually...
Like 2 years from now, are you going to be like, well, I need new stuff anyways because this stuff's getting pretty old?
Well, no,
so it doesn't matter.
my server stuff is like less than a year old, I think.
Okay.
Because I bought the RAM and the other thing for the Minecraft server.
Right.
Which I also ended up I bought a AM3 Plus board, which is still like getting the newest processors on it for AMD. Because AMD hasn't updated their processor socket for a long time, at least according to Tiger Direct. Because AM3 is like on the top. I don't know if it's on the top because it's an A. I don't know.
Yes, that's what it is. It's alphabetical. Damn that technology.
but like AM3 runs those FX processors or whatever, and like all the processors under AM3 are fucking amazing. So the two motherboards that I have are both very nice motherboards. The RAM that I have is really nice. Like
unless it's the RAM that's busted.
Yeah. Like the only thing that I really need to update in my server right now is the hard drives. Because right now what I'm running just like it's two 500s that I bought 4 years ago and then a 1 terabyte that I bought from you in high school.
That still exists? Damn.
It's in the server. And the thing is like 100 pounds because it was one of the first 1 terabyte.
I don't want to give away our age, but damn.
Yeah, like that thing is due to fail on me very soon. And every hard drive I've ever used besides my SSD that's in my gaming computer right now has been it's been a computer. It's been like in a different computer before, and then I pulled it out because you can never have enough hard drives.
Of course
not. So yeah, like for this Christmas, I'm getting a bunch of 2 terabyte hard drives, and I'm gonna freaking replace the whole. But luckily, the file system I used allows me to pretty easily migrate to new drives. So
there was a company, I forget their name, but they just developed a product called, I forget, it's like Game Band or something to that nature. And it's they're making a wristband that you can wear, and then it's got a USB drive on it, which isn't anything special today. I mean, that's pretty normal. The thing is that they've partnered with Mojang. So they're partnered directly with Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're advertising it as, oh, here's what you can do. We actually have special technology in here. This is a USB drive you can play from, because it's got stuff in there that isn't gonna, because like a USB drive, you're technically not supposed to like write to it like constantly, because over time it'll wear down.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you only have so many writes.
Yeah,
you have unlimited reads, but you only have so many writes.
Yeah, well, they've made basically a USB like wristband thing that has unlimited writes. So what they're advertising this as?
How?
Is
it mechanical?
It's like, I don't know exactly
Does
how.
it spin?
They don't explain that shit, because that's a lot of money. Like, probably to have the technology patented and stuff. So they're just all like, it's a secret. I'm sure it's explained somewhere.
Huh.
But that's what their big advertising hook is you could take this thing, take it off your wrist, plug it into a computer, and run Minecraft directly off of it. You don't even need to have it installed on the machine. It'll run directly off that. You can keep all your worlds saved on it too, so you can just take that wherever you go. And that's kind of their big thing right now. Is
it's not
this
like a
game band.
cloud thing, is it?
No, nope. Everything is stored on the wristband.
Huh? Because like,
I'd have to look into it some more because I was watching a video that Seth Bling put out, and he is one of the big YouTubers, and he used to work for Microsoft, and he has been working on this project with these guys because he develops like Minecraft maps and he writes code and stuff like that.
Interesting.
I remember he wrote like a bunch of Bucket plugins from scratch. So
I wrote a Bucket plugin.
Yeah.
Do you remember it?
I do.
It was the banking
Yeah,
one?
it's the bank one that we never used.
Didn't turn. Say, so,
Did that ever? Did you ever get that done?
No.
I didn't think so.
So basically what it was a plugin that if you stood over a sponge block, which sponge blocks did not naturally occur in the world, so they were like the perfect block to use for this.
Yeah.
If you stood directly above one, you were then you would be in a bank. I just air quoted there. And when you were there, you would be able to. You could use a command, I believe. No.
It wasn't even in game.
No,
at that
it wasn't
point,
in
was
game.
It?
So then what
Then
you
you could
did
go to
is
the
you go to a
website.
website,
Yeah.
and then at the website you would see your vault, or you would see what's in your inventory and what was in your
bank
ender,
inventory.
your ender chest.
Yeah.
And then you could take things out of your ender chest and out of your inventory and put them into the bank, which would then essentially all it would do is in game it would destroy those items.
Yeah.
So it would just take them out of your inventory and give them to nothing, so they were gone. But then in the website it would write into a database like this person has this, and then each thing it was kind of set up in like so it was like a running total type thing.
Yeah.
So I saved every transaction. I didn't actually save your totals.
Mm-hmm.
So then it would just go through the database and figure out your totals based on all your transactions every time. And so and so then you would be able to add things to the bank. And then what my plan is that I was going to try and get in contact with some other servers and then set up like a trading system.
Yeah.
So that people could trade their stuff with other people. And essentially what I wanted to turn it into was kind of like a not really an auction house, but more of like hey, this is currently averaged out at this price, and then you could like maybe make it even into more of a
How would you go about
thing.
I never thought of this at the time, but it makes me wonder now, like, what if someone wanted to like deposit into their bank? They had like, let's say they had a diamond sword. It's partially damaged.
Mm-hmm.
It is enchanted with like, I don't know, fucking Smite 4 and like Unbreaking 3 or something.
Mm-hmm.
So when they do that,
would it carry in all that stuff?
well, I'm assuming you had a way to carry it in, but how do you get it back?
Because then when you create the product again, you would have the system. So how it would give you
Because even in Minecraft's like creative mode, like, God, I don't know. Again, I don't know a lot about like command lines and stuff. There might be a command line in Minecraft that you can completely type out like everything to give you that exact item.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can. I don't know if there's like a way to scale how damaged it is.
So the object that you got itself, you could query all that stuff out of it, and you could figure out what it all was.
Yeah.
Okay. And then in the code itself, you could make the object, and then all these extra things you could be like, and it has this and this and this, and so you would read it all.
Yeah.
When they deposited it, save it all that information into the database, and then when they wanted to recreate it, it would create the base product, and then it would write into that all of the extra features that it has.
Okay.
So then when it went back into your cart, it would have the same amount of damage, the same amount of everything.
I suppose because if you're actually looking at like one item, like on the code end, no matter what's on it, it's all like explained out like in that. So you just need to take that same line and just kind of just give it back to them, sort of.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just had to like, yep. Yep. So like the whole system would have worked.
Yeah.
The only problem is that the whole system worked with stacks. Okay.
Okay.
And like swords in the system itself, I wanted them to stack as well.
Yeah.
Because I wanted you to be able to sell 100 diamond swords if you wanted to. You know,
Okay.
why not? The only problem with that was damage.
Yeah.
So then, when it went into your inventory, all of a sudden, if you had multiple different amounts of damage on your stuff, it would, be a mess. So that's why I was thinking within the system as well, you could pay some of your money to fix things, and it would I would have to build like a system that would rate how if you have a diamond sword with enchant and this and this and this, it's going to cost you more to fix it.
So
in the bank,
it would work. You'd basically be plucking that feature from like World of Warcraft does that too. Where you can just repair stuff for a cost, and the more rare the stuff is, the more damaged it is, the more it costs. So,
but I mean, and that was my idea.
Having everything stacked would cause problems though, because okay, let's say you bought, because you're hooked up to the servers and you spent like, I don't know, like 500 emeralds or something on a stack of 100 diamond swords. Well, natively in the game, diamond swords don't stack, so when you go to take those, like, even if they are all at the same, like, they're not broken at all, they would have to go into your, like, inventory. They would take up 100 spots, and there aren't 100 spots.
Yeah, I know,
So
but that's why.
Where would the extras go?
But I could read what was in your inventory. So prior to putting stuff into your inventory, what I would do...
Would like an error message come up saying you don't have enough space?
Well, no, I would just check. I would say, okay, you have this much space. So then if you were like push to inventory, it would be like, no, you can't do that because you only have this much space.
So you'd have to it would give you an error, and then you'd have to initially go back and just change, then I'll just deposit 40 of them.
Yeah.
And then it'll go through and fill out all that stuff. Okay.
Yep. And then the one thing that I never really got totally ironed out was whether or not I actually wanted to involve money, or if just products in general would be money. The only problem with that was that like the whole trading system would be so sloppy.
Yeah.
Because it would be like, describe what you have, describe what you want, and then you'd have to wait for, and you don't want it to be that way.
No.
You'd rather just have some sort of currency in game. And then I was thinking, well, why not have, because I wanted a thing to be currency.
Yeah. Because we had decided at the time just to use emeralds.
Yeah.
Or using emeralds and emerald blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, that was working for the, 8 people we had running on that server.
And it never, I don't know, did it ever really take off that much? Did people buy into emeralds? Like,
a few people did for, like, certain builds, because they would go and sell like a ton of stuff and then buy specific blocks they wanted.
Yeah.
But the server also didn't last a whole lot longer, just because I think that was right when we were getting into the mod packs too, because we got into Attack of the B Team, and that was a big one where everyone was like, "This is so much fun because you could do so much fun shit."
Yeah.
Like kind of stuff, and then that kind of petered out because. Like I was paying for the server because we didn't have we had computer issues and no one else would help, so it was like,
and those computer issues, that server for a long time was running on my bad hardware, and then I upgraded it, and then after I upgraded it, that's when it was kind of like, and then we ended up switching because my bandwidth wasn't able to handle it or something like that.
Yeah, I felt like we were gonna bottleneck at eventually
somewhere,
anyways.
yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, okay. I was trying to think like, well, then how do people do this? Like, how do you run? Like, do this just all your shit's on Google Fiber and stuff? And like,
I don't know.
Like,
well, then like I might not have been doing it perfectly too. I really, because I've heard of people running Minecraft servers on the $5 a month DigitalOcean machines.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know how that can, I mean, like,
I could see
one
vanilla
person,
Minecraft.
Yeah,
being
vanilla
able to do a
and
couple
one
people.
person. You could do that.
You could maybe do a few more than one.
I don't know. 512 RAM is not much.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was getting kind of ridiculous because, especially in certain areas, because there were so many builds going on, which, God, there was one thing I found out, like, after the fact. Like, you remember the micro blocks? You could, like, take a saw and, like, cut blocks into, like, smaller pieces and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That was the thing you could do. So you could make, like, crazy shapes and stuff, but every single micro block, it would load them, like, the thing that would slow it down would be how many sides are exposed. So when you're making something, let's say you're making a wall,
it's one big side in vanilla Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
But if you use microblocks and you make it super detailed, all of a sudden you have like a vertical thing and then a ledge and then another vertical thing that goes up like 2 and then another ledge, then that goes up and then you go kind of out again, so it mirrors like the bottom or something.
Yeah.
And at the end of that, now you have 10 sides, and that loads then 10 times the stuff.
Yeah.
That's how that stuff worked out.
Huh.
So it would just slow shit down immensely if you
Yeah.
used a lot of them.
Yeah.
So
I
it was
suppose.
kind of like, ugh, like I don't like not being able to use one of the points of this mod pack, which
Yeah.
was that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Most of the mod pack, the bigger mod packs I've seen have that rolled into it,
Do they?
because that's just like kind of a basic mod pack utility thing now, and they tend to keep it fairly well updated.
Huh.
Like they actually they keep it updated with not only vanilla Minecraft but other big mods. Like they keep it updated with like Tinker's Construct and like Galacticraft and all that
Huh.
other stuff. So they even have the textures and the sizing for blocks that aren't in regular Minecraft in their system. So it works pretty well.
Do you remember Craft Bucket?
Yeah, that was the bucket server stuff we were doing, right?
Yeah. Is that still in existence, or is that
Yeah, it's still a thing.
okay? Is that still what's commonly used when making mods?
Not when using mods, no, because like there's like vanilla servers that
Can you mod a vanilla server
yes,
like successfully?
it's kind of confusing because it's like the bucket system is just a way to kind of instill certain things into vanilla Minecraft. Like it's not like big changes, it's like adding straight content.
So
It's nothing like that.
because is the bucket just the Java API?
I think so.
Okay. Because like without that, I'm worthless.
Because
Like I need. I'm pretty
pretty
something
sure
to help me.
bucket is just because that's the reason we could do teleporting stuff and like setting up like areas you can't destroy blocks and things like that. Otherwise, the actual content of the physical, like not physical, like the content of the game itself, you can't do very much with. You can change like effects and like the way things work a little bit, but actually adding straight content, that's when you start getting into just straight mods. And then mods are always built for certain versions of Minecraft. Like I know the big ones was 1.6.4. That was a big one where there was a lot of big mods that put out versions that worked perfectly with that.
Yeah.
Then they started releasing newer Minecraft. 1.7.2 was the next one, and then I think when 1.8 came out, a lot of mod developers started making for that one because
Okay.
that was there's a lot of changes as
Yeah,
far as
yeah.
performance went that they wanted to have rolled into the mod
Yeah,
packs.
yeah. Actually, I wonder.
Because
How much
1.8
better-
optimized a ton.
I wonder how much better Minecraft would run on my server now that we're using 1.8.
If it was 1.8 like vanilla, it would run great.
Right.
I don't know if there's bucket software for 1.8 yet. I haven't looked
Yeah.
because I know they have like 1.7.9,
Right.
but I don't know
Okay,
if they have 1.8.
but now here's my next question. Would we rather have a private WoW server
Yes,
for us all to run on?
maybe. No, maybe.
Yes, maybe no.
I don't know.
Because that, I could put that together. Honestly, I could put that together in probably 20 minutes.
The problem is that the most fun I've ever had in Warcraft is right now. Is the new shit they put out.
Yeah.
It is amazingly fun with the new garrisons and the new systems to like do professions
But I wonder,
and all this different
if
stuff.
the private servers are to the newest expansion.
I doubt it. If the ones that are, I'm sure Blizzard is being very watchful of.
Sure.
Because I don't know, it's kind of against their terms of service to run a public server. It's really against the terms of service to make money off of that. That's the stuff they really are very careful of.
Yeah. But I honestly
some
don't
public
think,
servers they kind of just whatever.
I honestly
as long as they're not making
don't
money.
think that they would care if I ran a private server for me and you and a couple of our friends to dick around on.
I guess I would say I'd be totally cool with that if I didn't have to use my normal WoW login information.
Which you don't.
Yeah. Then I'd be like, oh, fine, fuck it then.
Yeah. Because it would be totally whatever the hell you wanted to put in there.
And I guess it really depends. I mean,
then
what would the
there's-
appeal be? I mean, like, what
It could be awesome.
you can be awesome now in WoW. Like,
No, you can't.
not
be
quite as
nearly
awesome. I will say that because I remember we did one time we did like a Wrath of the Lich King one.
Yep.
And at the time they had these really immense talent systems that were like 80-point talent systems.
Yes. Oh,
So
I miss those.
and then you could put in like, but then on a private thing that we had like tweaked out, you could put in like 270
Yeah,
points.
you could fill them all out.
So you
'Cause
were
I
just
rem-
you were
yeah.
just boss.
I remember
You just
that.
ran around like, I can do this and this and these.
Because
and
I
it's
remember I was
chaos.
looking. There's like a MySQL. It's like a database that's just is pretty easy to access and look through all the data, the raw data.
Yeah.
And one of the raw data fields was, what is this character's main talent? Like, what's their max talent point?
Yeah.
And I was like,
500.
I was like, all of it.
Yeah.
So I
Yes,
think I
please.
think I gave everybody like 200 talent points.
Yeah.
And you could just fill the whole freaking thing out.
See, the way they've changed their system now, like, because, I mean, we looked at it the other night,
Yeah.
it's, you wouldn't really gain very much from
Yeah.
filling in every talent point, because they've split the talents fairly well into either
Well, and
passive
you-
things
and you
or
literally-
utility things.
You literally can't now too. You can only select one out of each level.
I suppose, yeah, you
know,
can't.
so you literally can't choose all of
There
them
isn't,
anymore.
like, there might not be just, like, a thing that you can set to points.
Yeah.
It works differently now.
Yeah.
There really isn't much you could actually do, honestly, as far as, like... Because, yeah, on like, even, like, Pandaria... Because Pandaria kind of worked the same way. They didn't tweak the talent stuff very much from there.
Yeah.
Cataclysm... I think Cataclysm's when they first rolled it out, I thought. I can't remember for the life of me. Cataclysm might have been when they started it. Either that...
Yeah, it was. Because I remember looking through Cataclysm and being like, the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Cataclysm was when they first started. Lich King was the last time they had the crazy huge, like, talent trees
Yep.
and stuff.
Yep.
The thing is that there's still players that refer to it as a talent tree, and that doesn't make any sense now.
It's not a tree. It's like
it's just like a box that you fill in a couple things. And
But the talent box does not sound fun.
no, it's a fucking tree. Shut up.
That sounds like what a stripper calls her workspace.
So yeah, I don't really know what modern day WoW would be like, having like modifications in. I mean, unless you
Yeah.
could just fuck with raw numbers, like, oh
Yeah.
look, you do insane damage. Here, you can go fight the main raid boss. Oh look, you two-shotted him. Although I will say, when we were fighting Deathwing, oh my god, we were doing so much damage. That was insane.
Wait,
When we were
last
taking
night
down that
when we
Deathwing
were
raid.
when we were playing on legitimate WoW servers.
That was regular WoW. We just
Yeah.
went in as John and I were level 100.
Yeah, I healed
And
myself.
Matt was at 91 or 2. No, Matt was like 95 or 6, I think.
Oh, okay.
And then, yeah, you were at 86.
And healing myself.
And healing yourself so
And
you
got
didn't die.
absolutely no XP out of that entire
Yeah.
experience.
Didn't you get some gear that was actually a upgrade, though?
I got a trinket.
Yeah.
That gave me like 4 extra int.
Hey, worth it, man. I was bored and last night, so I went and took my level 100 warlock to the Caverns of Time and did the old Mount Hyjal raid.
Huh.
Now, Mount Hyjal today is a zone. It's for leveling from 80 to 81, I think.
Okay.
It's right after Lich King stuff.
Huh.
It's a full zone. It's completely explorable and stuff. Well, the 80 raid, or not the 80 raid, the Hyjal raid was like, I think that was vanilla WoW. It was vanilla WoW. No, it might have been Lich King. Or not Lich King. Burning Crusade.
Okay.
So the max level, I mean, it might have been, it was a raid for 60s or 70s.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the way they scale the stuff now, I went in there with my level 100 and I was hitting for 500,000 on everything. Well, that wasn't even crits. That wasn't even. I shot off a Chaos Bolt that critted it and hit for 900,000. I was almost doing 1 million with one hit.
Wow.
And the most health anything had was like, I think the main boss had like 5 million health.
Jesus.
So I was like, 6 attacks and you're dead. And the only reason I went through is because I was bored.
Yeah.
Like I had nothing else to do, and I was like, I was what is it? I was going through my bank because I had a bunch of crap in there, because that's the only character I've had since I first started playing.
Yeah.
So he's just accumulated a lot of stuff. So I had these tokens to like turn into like raid level gear, and I was like, wait, I don't even know what expansion these are from. And I went and looked, and it's like, oh, these are back in Burning Crusade. Well, I want all of them. I want the whole set. How do I get them? Oh, I'll just go solo this old 25-man raid. No problem.
Nice.
Go in there and just obliterate everything.
Yeah.
It was kind of ridiculous.
See, what I want to do is you know how we made new characters, like our low-level characters?
Yeah, we all made like little newbies.
I
that
hope
got to,
none
like,
of
level
us.
10.
I hope nobody plays on those. Like we only play
I
on
don't
those
think anyone
together.
will.
Because what I want to go and do the Orgrimmar instance.
Oh yeah, like freaking what's it called?
Whatever it's called.
I'm
'Cause
blanking. Yeah, the one that's in there, it's like for level 10s or something.
I think it's for level 8s actually.
It could be. Yeah, I don't remember.
But I really like that's how I want to level that character from now on.
The problem is they
just
got
doing
rid of the
instances.
dungeon finder, like for anything below 85.
Yeah.
So
So we'd have to literally run.
we'd have to go to Orgrimmar, or at least 2 people would have to go because they can summon the rest. So for some of us that'll be easier than others.
But like okay, Taruk is on Feathermoon. You know, well, I mean, couldn't we just like take a character that can float around really easily?
Well, at least not this one because Taruk is Alliance, and this is
Right.
in the belly of Orgrimmar.
Right.
So
But still, couldn't I just go to?
I mean, technically, it would be very easy for like you and I to get on, fly to Westfall. It would take 5 minutes tops. Use the summoning stone to summon Matt and John. And
Yeah.
then we log off, get on our characters, and they summon us.
Right.
The whole process would take like 10 minutes tops.
Yeah, 10-20 minutes.
Yeah. So I mean, that would be pretty simple.
Mhm.
Doing any raids that are like super far, fucking out of the way, or in
Like
complete
storm-
enemy areas
Well,
would
like
be kind of tricky.
because what is that one place called?
Like the stockades.
No,
That's in Stormwind.
Yeah, no, not stockades. The one with they're like, they have those red. Everything's red. It's like
Dead Mines?
they're like a cult.
Because I know Dead Mines has like.
Because I remember running through it. It's about 35, level 35.
Oh man.
It's
Oh, the Scarlet Crusade.
Scarlet
stuff.
Crusade stuff. Yeah, that's out in the middle of nowhere.
That's true. Yeah, that's over in like that's by Undercity kind of,
Yeah.
where no one ever goes.
But like I remember when we were leveling our characters,
Yeah.
that didn't exist. Like the dungeon finder thing did not exist yet,
No.
and so we had to run 2 places.
Yep.
And I kind of missed that actually, because like the whole
The thing is,
traveling,
once
getting
you're
there thing.
once
was
you're
kinda fun.
there, you can run it like 15 times or something, or
Right.
whatever they cap you at for the day or something. Like,
Oh yeah, they cap you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they cap you on dungeons in general, or if they just cap you on like the specific one.
Which is why we should make private server so that when we all get together, we can all play.
The only thing that's kind of bummer about all this is that I have every single class past level 68.
Right.
No, 58.
Uh,
So I gain nothing from leveling on a live server or
what
a
if
private
I
one,
make?
really.
What if I somehow
If you make a
it
new class,
so that you
I'll
can
play that
have
shit.
an everything class? You could have a class where you can be all of the classes at once.
that would not work at all.
Fuck you! I'll make it work.
That would not work at all. You'd have to give the person every single passive trait,
Yes.
like so that everything, so they're proccing on everything.
yes.
Like, and then so you can one-shot pyroblasts and chaos
Yes.
bolts and exorcisms.
Yes.
And like all these like mortal strikes up the
You
ass.
know you would want to be a bear that's a mage.
It would just be silly. It'd
You'd be awesome.
ridiculous.
You would be awesome.
I could do so much damage. I don't know, like, and then how would
Okay,
you?
so the only reason that this would be kind of fun is because then people who like myself will probably not end up paying for a monthly subscription thing
yeah.
could still play the game with you guys, because I bought all the games except for the newest expansion,
Yeah.
and I don't know, I bought all the games, so I feel like I should be able to play it on a private server if I want to,
Yeah.
because it would be private. I'm not going to open it up to the world because
No, yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to have to deal with that hassle of
It's either that or we try to join a private server that's already established. Which there's plenty of decent free ones out there that are running. I mean, there's some out there that are even running new stuff, but they don't run quite as well.
The only thing that I really don't like about that is that they always, because I've played on a couple privates before, and they always bug the shit out of you to buy stuff,
Yeah.
and it's annoying as hell.
But if you pay this, I'll give you this set of tier 2
and then
paladin gear.
there's a bunch of people running around fully decked out, super hardcore badass, and it's just like, kill me. Because you
Yeah.
can't get there because you're not willing to pay $300 for a freaking sword online. You know?
Well, and that's why Warcraft that's why Blizzard is pretty strict on that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they do any policing they can in that
Yeah.
sense, because That is kind of bullshit, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, that's against Minecraft's terms of service, too. I mean, you cannot,
Oh, you can't charge somebody to play on your server?
you can charge for things that are, like, strictly cosmetic. Like, they actually put, like, they updated the terms of service to be very specific. Because you cannot charge to get, like, an advantage in gameplay.
Really?
That is completely against the rules.
How?
But you can charge if you want, like, your diamond armor to be, like, black with a skull on it. But
Sure.
but it doesn't actually do anything better.
Sure.
It's just diamond armor. So, like, it's
How
that
can
kind of
they?
stuff.
How can they tell people that though if they're not? Because like Minecraft, Mojang doesn't run servers, which is ridiculous.
They
And
do,
I
na-
think
they do now.
they do.
Yeah, they have for
Are they free or they pay?
their pay.
That's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Did that happen when Microsoft took over?
No, they did that like a year ago, I think.
Are they big? Like, are they capable of hosting a lot of people or no?
I think they offer the ability to. I think they tell you can run at least 8 people, like, pretty okay.
8 people?
I think you can do more if you like pay more though. I'm not really sure. I've never tried it
like-
because I'm not going to pay money when I can run a server off my own computer.
Yeah, because like the thing with Minecraft is that at least the last time I looked into it, it was all single threaded, which means that you can't get. You're only running it on one core of your processor.
Yeah.
So you can't utilize the entire machine, and that's why you can only get like 8 people on your freaking server.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, you're never gonna see unless they change that, which
They might have in the 1.8 push. I honestly don't know.
I don't think they
They
did.
probably didn't, but
Because I think they're trying to keep servers small, because if you had a gigantic server, then you'd have to start putting more permissions in place. Because Minecraft right now kind of works on like you trust the people who are on your server with you.
yeah.
And if you had hundreds and hundreds of people on your server, you would never have stuff because people would steal your stuff all the time.
I would like to see the behind the scenes, how they set this up for the Minecraft servers, because there's this big group of YouTubers and they have one vanilla Minecraft server. They run it on survival only, and there's like 25 to 30 people that use it.
Huh.
And when every single time they do a new season and they do pull in a new world, almost everybody is doing it for at least a couple months. Everyone kind of peters off because some people still get into it, other people get into other games or mod packs or things. But
Sure.
the first few months, there's a lot of people on. I mean,
Yeah.
you'd be hard pressed to see anything less than 6 people on at a time. And with the big events, you'd see all 30.
Yeah.
Like 25 to 30 people. I'd like to see how the hell they run that.
Yeah.
Like what exactly kind of a setup do you guys have? Like, is there just someone over in like Europe or something that like has like freaking fiber optic stuff,
Right.
and they just have like the best setup for it or something? Like, because it'd be interesting to see like the stats on how that actually is handled.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't do that.
No.
Even vanilla Minecraft, to get like 32 people on there at once and have it be fine,
Yeah, that'd be kind of tough.
it'd be really tough. So it's tricky. Computers is hard.
Computers is hard,
It is hard.
but
Yeah.
so
Anything else you wanted to talk about today?
I wanted to thank our listeners. Thank you,
John.
listeners. It's because of viewers like you that we can continue doing the things that we do. We just want to say that we love you and we need you. Please don't leave. Please don't leave.
Did you know the PBS, the Paul, the P in PBS stands for Paul. It does.
Paul Broadcasting System.
For viewers like you,
Because we love you.
because love.
Love is all around.
It might not be appropriate at the time, but it's there, whether you want it to be or not.
I love you. All right, that's a good ending.
I heart you.